Episode 228.
Even so, setting aside the other cultivators sacrificed to cover for Spirit Beast Mountain, 2 core formation elders also died in that attack we staged ourselves. That's hardly believable, is it?
Without the death of a core formation cultivator, how could the other 6 sects have believed it so easily? Besides, do you really think those who died were actually core formation cultivators?
You mean...
As far as I know, our demonic sect has 2 or 3 secret arts that can forcibly push a Foundation establishment cultivator to core formation. Of course, these methods have major drawbacks. A cultivator who uses one will have their meridians shattered and die once they reach Foundation establishment, and the duration of the borrowed power is pitifully short. But that should be enough time to fool the other 6 sects. After all, a surprise attack doesn't need to last long.
Hearing this, Han Li fell silent. By now, he was about 70% convinced. He could picture it perfectly. The 7 sects and their allied cultivators from the other 2 kingdoms would lay down their grand formation to face the 6 demonic paths, only for the demonic sect, already privy to every detail of the Alliance's plan, to tear through their ranks with ease thanks to the hidden machinations of the Spirit Beast Mountain.
By then, the allied forces of the 7 sects, stripped of their formation's protection, would stand no chance against the 6 demon sects.
Even if what you say is true, the time for the final battle hasn't arrived yet. If I go and deliver the message, we should still be able to turn the tables. So why would I run?
You really think our demonic sect would launch the final battle on the agreed schedule? You see, according to the original plan, this was always meant to be a feint, a way to throw off the enemy and launch the decisive battle on our own terms. Well, I don't know the exact time, but I'd say within a few days, our demonic sect will launch a surprise attack on your camp. After all, this is right before your big battle, the moment you're most off guard, and your numbers are nowhere near full strength. Do you think there's enough time left to get word to the battlefield and make the higher-ups believe you?
Hearing this, Han Li's expression finally shifted. A thread of worry crept into his heart.
If the 7 sects really do suffer a crushing defeat, my life is going to get a lot harder. Either I stay in UA and get hunted by the demonic sect, or I flee to another country and wander around. The last option is to fix that teleportation array and start my cultivation anew in some strange place. You seem to know the demonic path's plans inside and out. You must be quite high-ranking. You don't need to worry. I have no interest in asking who you really are. But you've said quite a bit. Do you have any proof? You don't seriously think I'd believe everything you've said just because you said it, do you?
Hearing Han Li's question, the Yuling sect cultivator paused, then gave a rueful laugh.
When I was in danger, I didn't even have my original body left. What evidence do you think I could have kept? Actually, if you had been a bit more patient and waited just a few more days, you would have heard the wind of the great battle.
Without a body, how could the origin soul possibly escape? Since you weren't killed on the spot back then, I refuse to believe you didn't stash away your important items like magic tools separately.
Han Li's words hit the mark, freezing the bitter smile on Ku Hun's face.
It seems I really can't hide anything from you, fellow Taoist. Yes, I do have a letter from my sect regarding dealings with the Spirit Beast sect. In fact, I came to you a few years ago specifically to deliver this news. But I never expected.
Hearing the other party finally admit it, Han Li let out a quiet sigh.
Hard to tell how old this one really is, but he's cunning as they come. I'll need to be even more careful. Where is it?
Han Li's gaze began to sweep across every part of his body.
I didn't bring the storage pouch with me. I left it in a cave nearby. I can take you there, fellow Taoist.
Not on you?
You know, my body is basically a zombie now. It's far tougher than a normal person's, but I've also lost most of my sense of touch. I'm really afraid of carrying the storage pouch on me and losing it without even noticing, so I usually just leave it at my place.
The man managed to come up with a reason that even Han Li found a bit awkward. Still, Han Li said nothing. He searched the man thoroughly, only to find nothing at all.
Where's the cave? I'll go retrieve the item.
Seeing Han Li's cautiousness, the soul driver could only reluctantly tell him the location. Han Li nodded after hearing this, as if about to take his leave. But then he remembered something and turned back to ask,
How did you enter this body? Though this vessel originally lacked a soul or origin soul, saving us the trouble of possession, it's still not a cultivator's shell.
I don't know.
Han Li's face darkened at the other's reply.
I really don't know what happened. Back then, I dragged my heavily wounded body to Homeland City, but I was completely done in. I had no choice but to hastily perform origin soul departure, then searched everywhere for a cultivator I could possess. But I searched everywhere nearby and didn't find a single cultivator. Just when I was about to give up hope, I stumbled upon this zombie shell with no origin soul. I was just grasping at straws, hoping to enter this body on a whim. Never expected it to be perfectly fine, truly astonishing to me as well.
When he said this, the Yulin sect cultivator wore an expression of utter disbelief. Han Li was silent for a moment, then glanced at the other man. Without warning, he turned back, pressed 2 more calming talismans onto the soul puppet, and vanished into the darkness. The so-called soul puppet standing there first wore a bitter expression, but shortly after Han Li left, a hint of eerie cunning flickered in its eyes. Following the directions he had been given, Han Li found the cave without trouble. The entrance didn't look particularly large. Han Li raised his hand, and a moonlight stone flew out from his storage pouch, floating above his head to illuminate the surroundings. Then, he glanced at the pitch-black cave mouth, gave it a moment's thought, and released the white phosphorus shield and turtle shell magic tool to float in front of him before cautiously stepping inside. The cave was just as Han Li had expected, not very wide. After only 7 or 8 jang, he could already see a rock wall blocking the way ahead. He had reached the end. Han Li's sharp eyes swept the area. Finding nothing unusual, he lowered his gaze to the ground. According to him, the storage pouch was supposed to be under a big blue stone. Shouldn't have been hard to find. Sure enough, about 2 jang away to one side, there was a dark, indistinct object a few feet high. That had to be the blue stone. Han Li didn't overthink it. He strode over and, under the soft white glow of the moonstone, focused his gaze for a closer look.
This was no pile of stones. It was a heap of bleached white bones stacked high.
Faint traces of blood and flesh still clung to them, giving off a subtle, almost imperceptible scent of gore. Shocked, Han Li took a closer look and realized the bones belonged to fierce beasts like tigers and leopards. Teeth marks were still visible on them, as if something had chewed through them. Seeing this, a thought turned in Han Li's mind. He knew something was wrong. He scrambled to retreat.
But it was already too late. A black shadow flashed, darting out from nowhere, and slammed violently into Han Li's white scale shield. A tremendous force surged through him, and in an instant, Han Li was sent flying backward, shield and all. He slammed hard into the cave wall behind him, nearly blacking out from the pain.
What kind of monster is this?
Before Han Li could even fall from the cave wall, the shadow lunged at him again. Startled, he instinctively raised both defensive magic tools in front of him. A crisp clang rang out, but no great force followed. Then, with a sharp crack, the white scale shield at the front split cleanly in 2 and clattered to the ground. Han Li was so shocked he nearly bit his own tongue.
The white scale shield was actually cleaved in 2 by that monster. This was a top-grade magic tool refined from the scales of a demon Jiao.
That white scale shield had been through countless battles with Han Li. Aside from the small hole the blood spirit drill had punched through it a few days ago, it had almost never suffered any major damage. And now, to have it destroyed like this by a demon's hand, Han Li could hardly believe it. By the light of the moonstone overhead, Han Li caught a glimpse of the creature's shape, and it was utterly bizarre. The creature wasn't large, only about 3 meters tall, with a thin neck supporting a tiny head, but 2 fist-sized orbs of green light gleamed with a cold, chilling menace, staring at them without a shred of emotion.
What caught Han Li's attention most, however, were the two pincer-like appendages before it. They looked like a pair of pitch-black, cleaver-shaped blades. He stared in shock.
This monster can actually use weapons. But what kind of cleaver is that sharp? It split the white scale shield in one blow.
These thoughts flashed through Han Li's mind in an instant. He lunged, shooting toward the cave entrance like an arrow.
In a cave this small, tangling with a monster like that, I wouldn't have enough lives even if I had a dozen more. Of course I have to get out. That's the only way this favors me.
The moment Han Li moved, the monster silently launched itself after him, matching his speed with terrifying precision.
The moment he cleared the cave entrance, Han Li raised his hand without a second thought. A beam of white light shot from his palm, and the pristine divine wind boat materialized in the air before him. He intended to take flight aboard it.
If the magic tool can't defend against the monster's attacks, then I'll create distance and blast it to pieces with ranged attacks.
But because Han Li had hesitated for a moment to release his magic tool, the monster had actually outpaced him, darting between him and the wind god boat. Its two blade-like forelimbs clashed together with a sharp metallic screech, and it fixed its cold, icy gaze on Han Li.
Seeing this, Han Li's heart sank. Not only was this demon incredibly powerful, it also possessed a certain level of intelligence. This was going to be a huge problem.
In the moonlight, Han Li recognized the creature before him, a massive, pitch-black mantis, its body wreathed in an eerie gray aura.
Han Li drew a sharp breath, forcing down the unease in his chest. His form flickered, then split into 5 identical afterimages, all charging straight at the giant mantis. He refused to believe that, with his smoke-shifting steps at full speed, he couldn't break past a mere beast's blockade. The mantis's eyes flashed green, and it too split into several blurry phantoms, each one meeting Han Li's copies head-on. With a series of soft popping sounds, the giant mantis's scythe-like arms shattered Han Li's afterimages one by one. His true body was forced to block the final blow with his remaining turtle shell magic tool, only to be sent flying back to his original position, with a deep, jagged gash now carved into the shell.
Han Li, his face pale, glanced at the gash on the turtle shell and swallowed dryly. This magic tool wouldn't withstand many more blows.